glad I saved.
I get it. Since the wound ran parallel to the roof, the shooter must have been at the same height.
Well, it could be that the victim's head was at an angle at the time of impact. But in that case, we would have found the bullet lodged in the roof.
The monster conjures falsehoods to impede our progress.
But it's strange that they insist it was a homicide. If I'm not the culprit, it'd make more sense to rule it as a suicide.
That's because it is one. They're insisting it's a homicide to cover it up. So you finally revealed your true nature, God of Darkness. Huh? Yuma, do not be swayed by this deceiver. This case is most assuredly a homicide. Assuredly? And what are you basing that on? The victim carried a gun, did he not? If so, he could have used it to combat the peacekeepers pursuing him. And yet, he hastily turned the gun on himself. I do not believe the victim was so cornered that he would commit suicide. That actually makes sense.
That's a good point. Even if he wanted to avoid using his gun, he could have at least used it to threaten them.
So it must be a homicide. No! Suicide! Homicide! Suicide! There are 2 doors?
Huh?
The letters are written in blood. Does Yuma's blood contain holy powers? And it illuminates this cursed labyrinth? Yuma, you are more than the warrior of light. You are the holy warrior of light.
Sure, that's fine. Let's focus on this problem. Is this a suicide or a homicide? We need to narrow it down, now.
It is clearly a homicide. Nuh-uh! It's totally a suicide!
Deep in the minds of Minolta. Now picture this.
Right here! I'm sure this is the right way.
I knew it! This case had to be a homicide. If it was a homicide, someone else had to have been on the roof, right? But Master, you were on the emergency stairwell, and the peacekeepers were behind the door. Which means no one could have gotten off that roof. How did the culprit shoot the victim and get away? See? If it wasn't a suicide, then what happened? You'd better explain yourself. Very well, I shall. I completely agree with what Yuma said.
I didn't say anything.
So what do you think, Master?
You mean why I think it's a homicide? I don't really have a solid reason why yet. We're trapped!
Oh no! The walls! Come on, spit it out. The mystery labyrinth won't wait forever, you know.
I know, but
Yuma!
if it was in fact a homicide, there would be some clue left behind at the crime scene. If I can just remember something.
Oh, like this? Here, this is everything left at the scene. This should be easy mode. I made sure to pull everything straight out of your memory, Master.
I'm sure there's a clue pointing to a homicide hidden here.
We do not have much time. Please hurry, Yuma.
There must be something suspicious, something that stands out. There has to be a clue. I have to find it.
Hey, let me choose the clue. Stop talking about it. Let me choose it.
I know, it's this! This has to be related to the murder.
Oh, the wall stopped. Looks like it's the right one. That is the gun that fired the fatal shot, right? But how can you determine it was a homicide?
Right way? Understand the joke? I do not understand the joke. Are you making a Tech 9 featuring Chris Calico and Jelly Roll reference for the song Easier for You? Probably not. Ain't nobody know about Tech 9 around here. I gotta put you all on Tech 9, and then you guys gotta come back to me and be like, you know what, we listen to Tech 9, and you know, you right. Tech 9's the bomb diggity.
There's something unique about this gun. A revolver cylinder normally swings out to the left, but the gun found at the scene swings out to the right.
I see. That is unusual. It is incredible how you even noticed it. You really are the holy great detective warrior of light, Yuma.
This is not the reason I chose the gun, by the way. I chose the gun because if you're committing suicide, you're holding the gun up to your head and you shoot yourself, and how you fall to the floor is not going to be as clean as Chachi's death, and he's certainly not going to have a gun in his hand when he does that. So the gun had to have been planted. I don't know where they're going with this left-right cylinder thing. I don't know why that's relevant right now, but we're about to find out, I guess.
It got even longer. Oh well, anyway. This gun was apparently custom made for Shachi.
The junk shop geezer said that too. How does that prove this was a homicide?
I don't know anything else about it. I just figured this was kinda out of place. It's happening again?
Of course. You haven't solved the mystery itself. Yuma, over there! Could you try shooting it with the gun?
I'm no marksman. Oh, but it could work inside the mystery labyrinth. If this gun is the answer... Huh? It's not loaded?
If you can't shoot it, then you're still missing something.
Something? Do you mean like why I think this gun is out of place? I can't shoot the gun until I figure that out?
Will, Yuma? Did you solve it?
Why was Shachi's gun built like this in the first place? The reason why must be relevant.
Are you saying you need my help to solve this? Oh, fine. Since you're so good at begging, I don't mind helping you out one bit. Here we go! Lay it all out!
I'm gonna preemptively say left-handed because that was the initial thing that I had, but I have no idea why this even matters. Or why that would even matter.
Try to solve it, lickety-split!
Oh, I guess.
That's right!
I guess, my whatchamacallit is correct. I just don't know why it's relevant. Why do you have to shoot? Do you have to shoot a left-handed gun in your left hand? You know? Is that how that works? Something tells me that doesn't work that way. So the homicide thing is the right way, and you enter the right door, which brings you the right way.
That's it! It's because he was left-handed! The reason the cylinder swings out to the right is to let him reload while still holding the gun in his left hand.
Ah, that's okay. Because the bullet entered the right side is how they're going to explain this one. So if he committed suicide, he would have shot himself in his natural dominant hand. I gotcha.
If he was right-handed, it would be very difficult to reload if the cylinder swings out to the right. If Shachi was right-handed, he wouldn't have commissioned his gun to be designed this way. Which means Shachi is left-handed.
It's an interesting deduction, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not like concrete, absolutely. You know, there could be some functionality. He could be ambidextrous, you know, and he just likes the left side a little bit more. But he could do both, you know. I'm gonna let her rock, but I'm just saying.
Look! The exit! You did it, Yuma!
Oh, it worked.
All thanks to yours truly. No, it is thanks to Yuma's deduction. What? But we'd all be flattened by now if it wasn't for my assist. I will never believe the God of Darkness could willingly lend a helping hand. Sure, say what you want. Anyway, let's hurry. Countdown is still going.
Right. It looks like the number's gone down by a lot.
We were so close to figuring out this mystery. Let's hurry it up faster.
Yeah, got it.
Ambidextrous? Come on, man, that doesn't even exist? Yeah. It's even rarer than left-handed people. I kind of wish I was left-handed.
Look, another monster.
But then I think to the world being left-handed or right-handed, I'm like, you know, being left-handed would be such a pain. You know, I gotta move my mouse over here and my keyboard is not the same way and my numpad is on the right sided, you know, it just doesn't work. But being ambidextrous, you know, I'll teach my son or daughter to be ambidextrous. They will be the most amazing at anything they do. They can draw two pictures at the same time with their eyes closed because they're so amazing.
Alrighty, we're here as your official roadblock. Huh? You wanna know why? Because the homicide route ends here. That Shachi terrorist committed suicide. After all. Right, Dominic?
You kept insisting it was a homicide earlier, but now you're going with the suicide theory?
These monsters are cheaters! Maybe they're cheaters because they're monsters. Are you defending the monsters? Curse you, God of Darkness! Queen of Monsters! I'm not defending them. I can't even follow this whole monsters and God of Darkness story you have going.
Now's not the time to be fighting!
Your grandmother was left-handed. Even back in the days, they forced at school to use the right hand. See? People are crazy.
Bad luck. Looks like it's a dead end.
That wasn't it!
Watch carefully for what the opponent says. Select the part you want to investigate.
I want to investigate why this is a dead end. How about that?
Bad luck.
Sucker.
Looks like it's a dead end. You can't proceed. Because it wasn't a homicide. Shachi definitely committed suicide.
That claim doesn't hold up! No! Shachi didn't commit suicide! All the evidence points to the contrary!
You know you're super annoying, right? Fine. I'll crush you like a bug. So what if the gun was designed for the left hand? You can still shoot yourself. Shachi shot himself with the gun in his dominant hand. Therefore, a death by suicide. There's no proof a culprit fired the gun. No contradiction. It's a suicide. We're done here. Time to go home. Right.
Yeah.
So what if...
So it has to be left-handed, but I'm not 1000% sure where.
The gun was designed for the left hand.
I'm kind of confused why
Still
we're
shoot
getting
yourself.
this left-handed one right now.
Shachi shot himself
Can we
with the
just-
gun in his dominant hand. Therefore, a death by suicide.
We just went through this.
There's no proof a culprit fired the gun. Aww.
That's true.
I guess I'll go with the
So
first one.
what if the gun was designed for the left hand? You can still shoot yourself. Shachi shot himself with the gun in his dominant hand.
This is the truth!
Oh, I got you, because they use dominant hand, not right hand.
Shachi was left-handed, but he was found dead with the gun in his right hand. There's no reason he'd use his non-dominant hand to commit suicide. It's an obvious contradiction.
I mean, I'm sure we could sit here and think of a lot of reasons. Just let her up.
When the culprit tried to make it appear like a suicide, they put the gun in the wrong hand. Which means someone else was involved in Shachi's death. This death was a setup. It's a homicide.
Would it be cool if being ambidextrous meant you could use both hands simultaneously, multitasking with full efficiency and precision? That would be really cool. I mean, there might be someone out there that could do that.
You managed once again to slay the monsters. That confirms it. The homicide route was the correct one. Seems like it. I guess I can admit defeat here. Huh? The God of Darkness admitting defeat? Perhaps she has an honest side. No! It cannot be! Could this be an illusion she conjured forth? You know, I don't really care, so long as we keep solving mysteries. Just keep helping my master out for a bit longer.
Let's carry on for now.
Well, as now your grandmother mostly uses the right hand for things, and then the left for some things that stick around. It isn't the same though. I've noticed, I'm not left-handed, but I've noticed that for things like driving, I feel way more comfortable driving with like my left hand as opposed to like right hand. I don't know. I guess, you know, driving with one hand.
The culprit made a pretty cliche mistake getting the victim's dominant hand wrong.
Perhaps the culprit doesn't know that Shachi's custom gun was designed for someone left-handed. Shachi rarely carried his gun, so they probably never saw him hold it.
Huh. Why would he go through the trouble of getting a custom gun that he never intended to use? Deep down, do you think he was just like any other violent terrorist?
It's because your driver's seat is on the wrong side of the car. I mean, maybe, but like I didn't first start driving with one hand, you know? I started driving with both hands on the wheel, and eventually, I don't know, it just felt more natural that if I'm going to drive with one hand, that it would be the left one. You know, moving left feels more natural than moving right. I don't know. It's only with driving, though, as far as I know. Also meant to fool you. I feel like Yulamas is on the same route as Aromio. Like, yeah, you know, maybe if you put your steering wheel on the other side of the car, sucker.
Maybe the gun was a gift.
A gift? From whom?
A woman named Iruka manages the Resistance's weapons. She was the one who designed it.
Gifting a gun is so romantic. It delights my adventurer's heart.
It does?
Well, thanks to the culprit's mistake, we now know this was a homicide. But we still have a lot of unanswered questions.
Your comforting Axelrod streams are ruined? Is it because we're playing a game where we're dealing with a lot of murders? It's annoying as heck. The murders?
The location where the culprit shot Shachi.
Yep. Even if this case is a homicide, that's still a mystery. But if you know it was, in fact, a homicide, then the answer has to be here. I have no idea what it could be, but I am confident that you can discover the answer. For you are he who tames the god of darkness, holy great detective warrior of light Yuma.
How long is my name going to get?
All those cringe voice and sounds, so much noise and crap. Aha. So, like if I were to play an anime game, like a game based on an anime, there's so many crazy voices in that one. You probably would rock with that.
Right here!
It's very weird to need to change gears or engage the brake hand with your right hand. Rather keep your dominant hand on the wheel. You're visiting Florida.
That was the right answer, but... if he was shot on the roof, doesn't that mean the culprit was also on the roof?
That's what I want. Like, to go from one country where not only are you driving on the other side of the road, but you're also on the other end of the car, It must be so strange to reverse that. I don't know. If I went to another place to visit, I probably would not drive myself. Take a taxi or something.
The culprit placed the gun in Shachi's hand to make it look like a suicide. That means they had to be there in person. The culprit was definitely on that roof.
Come to the UK. The weirdest thing was that it was okay to turn left, even if the light is red. Going by memory now. That... I mean, maybe that's a Florida thing, but that's not a California thing.
But Yuma, you said nobody was there when you arrived.
That's what we have to figure out now. When I heard the shot, I was halfway up the emergency stairs. It took about 10 seconds to reach the roof. And in that time, the culprit vanished like a cloud of smoke from the scene.
Where could the murderer have gone?
Am I supposed to go through the door, or is the door my choice? I'm just gonna click on the door.
This is...
We're back at the crime scene. Follow the culprit's escape route? You need to escape in the same way the culprit did after committing the crime.
Water. Door. Rooftop edge. Neighboring building. What's that explosion there? It's a 50-50. To me, it makes more sense to go with the neighboring building. But I feel like, I mean, I guess this could have been a diversion. But why would you need a diversion if you escaped from the roof? You could definitely Indiana Jones this and just swing all the way over there. Alright. I feel like it makes more sense, but we'll do this because this is just more suspicious. Well, it's more suspicious in the context of the confines of the video game.
Though it is fairly high, would it not be possible to climb down from here on a rope or ladder?
there's nowhere to hang something like that onto. Plus, from this height, it'd take a while to get all the way down like that. It'd be tough for someone to get down and gather their equipment in the short time it took me to reach the roof.
You probably couldn't jump down onto a mat from this height either. You'd die no matter how you landed.
Besides,
Yeah, I couldn't jump on this side either.
Is it easier to imagine using a rope or some other tool to escape to the neighboring building? Or perhaps they used a hot air balloon? The culprit must be quite the adventurous thrill-seeker.
but those high voltage lines would get in the way. You'd never reach the next building without touching them.
Oh, so the culprit is not an adventurer?
That's what you're disappointed about?
You drove both sides of the car. On the Postal Service, you drive on the right side, as roads are based on opposite. Yeah, that's very interesting. I guess you're right. The post office vehicles, at least in the US as well, are on the right side of the car.
Ah, so the culprit escaped via the emergency stairs. As the culprit was in a state of emergency, it is only natural that they would make use of emergency stairs. Wait. Master was up ahead, right? There's no way the culprit could have escaped without bumping into him. What are you saying? Yuma is right here, is he not? I mean, when the crime happened. Jeez, this sheltered skank and her empty head are killing me here. Yet again, you called me sheltered. Hey, I'm just telling you like it is. Sheltered there, sheltered that. You're sheltered in a skank. I've never even seen a shelter, let alone been in one. Skank is acceptable, but sheltered crosses the line. Please stop calling me that. I have had enough.
I don't know if the culprit realized I was there. The footage from the security camera positioned here didn't show anybody around, which makes it hard to imagine that the culprit escaped from here.
Is it easier to imagine that the criminals simply went back inside through this door?
No, that's impossible. At the time of the incident, the peacekeepers were on the other side of it.
I see. If the culprit had gone inside through here, they would have been apprehended by those peacekeepers. Well, it's safe to say this wasn't the escape route. Yuma. This is bad. We have reviewed all the possible escape routes.
And yet, we can't figure out how the culprit got off the rooftop.
Mysterious.
This isn't funny! At this rate, we'll run out of time!
What are we supposed to do? There's no other way besides finding the culprit's escape route. That's how it is in the Mystery Labyrinth.
No, they could have just hid on the roof. You know, they can do that.
Where are the entrances for cast members and the hidden entryways for maintenance crews? This isn't an attraction at some theme park.
Actually, that's probably what happened. They hide on this little roof area right here above the stairwell. They trigger the explosion as a diversion, and then they escape.
Well then, why do you hunt Yuma if you cannot even do your job and guide him? A god of darkness who cannot guide you is just a directionless god of darkness. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're a stupid, sheltered skank that's completely useless. You called me sheltered again! How many times is that now? Let's see. After the number 3 comes... Seriously, are you dense?
quiet, please.
Is your head on
After
right?
3 is-
When are you gonna start being useful?
I feel much better.
Together
Just
already.
how many insults
What's with
do
the
you
clock
intend to
again
hurl at me?
Anyway,
Yes, that is
you're
obvious.
wasting
I'm not
time.
able to
It's
use my
completely
powers here,
useless
but
in
at
the
least I
mystery
can be by
labyrinth, you
Yuma's
know.
side.
The culprit must have been on their roof when they committed the crime. They escaped somehow. But how? There aren't any other clues at the crime scene. Wait, if nothing was there, what if the culprit destroyed evidence?
What? Destroyed evidence? Then leave it to yours truly. I'll wring it out of your mind, Master.
You're going to recreate the crime scene again?
If you don't remember it, then I've got no choice. I'll make it a gentle beating this time around. So, which memory do you want beaten out of you?
How about when Shachi first called me up to the rooftop? The culprit wouldn't have done anything to the scene yet. I can even compare it to when I found the corpse.
Alrighty, leave it to me.
What is this daunting aura I sense? What are your intentions here?
Let's do it, Master!
Can't be!
Yeah?
Wait!
Are you alright, Yuma?
I'm in so much pain. I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
The corpse is gone, but nothing else has really changed about this place. I believe all that happened was you were assaulted, Yuma.
Not much time passed between when you first reached the rooftop and when you discovered the corpse. If nothing changed, then there are no clues here for you to use.
Hang on. There must be something. Something that the culprit destroyed to cover their tracks.
I wrenched this memory out of your tiny brain, so you don't have much time left to look around. Your time limit is until the pain in your head goes away. You'd better hurry up and investigate.
Got it. I'll hurry. It seems like there's no place to hang a rope off of. There's nothing of note on this side of the wall. What is that? A storm drain? Has that always been there? Oh, right. The explosion. The explosion that happened right after I found the body must have buried it in rubble.
So when I went up here initially, I walked around and I was like looking at the edges, like the when we were, y'all know it was like 10 minutes ago, whatever. And I was looking for water sources because the water guy was like, that would have been the clear indicator of, hey, that's the guy who did it. But his voice was the one who did the thing, you know? So it just, like, again, are they really making it that easy?
So the drain was covered after a mysterious explosion.
They can't be making it that easy.
Find anything, Master?
Yeah, I might have found a clue that shows how the culprit escaped.
Really? You did it, Yuma!
Mystery phantoms!
Chirp, 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 chirp. I was curious what all the tweeting was about. You're still fantasizing about all this nonsense? He committed suicide! There's nobody to pursue! After all, there's no place a culprit could run to. No one can run off a rooftop!
No one could escape the rooftop.
Which means if you can disprove that, then we'll defeat them and press forward.
Just hit your head to make on the wall to make the pain longer. Yeah, do that. You'd really like to drive exactly the opposite, but it's also somewhat odd to drive on the right side while driving also on the right side. Hardest thing to overtake.
Weirdo fantasies! I'm saying Shachi committed suicide! You're such a maggot! There is no other culprit. No one could have left that rooftop.
That claim doesn't hold up! No, there is a culprit! There's a way to escape from the roof, too!
Ugh, such a drag. You're still talking about that? What a downer!
What a drowner.
The culprit had to be on the roof if it's not suicide. So, where did the culprit go? You can't escape through the roof's door! You can't escape down the emergency stairs! Or was the culprit on the roof the whole time? All impossible! See? There's simply no place to run!
I'll slash through this mystery! No, there is a way out. The drain directly below the rooftop.
Don't let any shady statement slip by.
Mystery Phantoms will ask a riddle from time to time. Read the question carefully and counter by repelling the words of the answer you think is right.
The drain? What about it? What's that got to do with green from the roof? How did the culprit escape? Go ahead and try answering that!
With this, I'll expose the truth. That's right. The culprit dove into the drain from the roof. That was the culprit's escape route.
Man, they're really good. They're really gonna make this one that easy. It's gonna be the elf guy.
They disappeared, but to leap into a storm drain from atop a roof? Is such an adventurous stunt truly possible?
I wasn't sure about that as well. But if the explosion was used to destroy evidence, I think that has to be the case. The culprit opened the storm drain's grates beforehand and jumped from the roof right after committing the crime. The Doya district was flooded, so naturally the drain would have been filled with water. Then, the culprit swam away.
It would only take a few seconds to escape the roof that way. So the culprit used a bomb to blow up the area, which covered up the evidence of their escape.
Why? We defeated these monsters already!
The problem here was follow the culprit's escape route.
So we have to leap into the drain just like the culprit did?
I have to jump from up here? And now more drains have suddenly appeared! What is happening?
Master, you have to make up your mind and jump!
No, I don't! I'm already falling!
Who was capable of committing this crime?
This way!
Had to be like, the leader is dead, but never mind. I course corrected.
We actually made it.
I felt as if my heart would jump out of my chest, but we managed to get down.
It's not over yet. Look over there! Looks like all the suspects are here!
Must we fight all of them? Even Yuma cannot face 4 foes at once. They fled!
Then we better chase after them!
Chase scenes are common in adventures, but are you certain the culprit is among them?
There are only 2 ways the culprit could get a hold of Shachi's gun, the murder weapon. Either steal it from the safe or get it from Shachi himself. In any case, the only ones who could have done it are members of the Resistance.
Is it possible the culprit took the victim's gun by force? If so, a complete stranger could have done it.
But if someone tried to take his gun, I'm sure Shachi would have drawn it and threatened them. If so, the culprit would have realized their target was left-handed.
I see. That would conflict with a cover-up attempted at the crime scene.
Also, the culprit issued a proclamation on behalf of the Resistance against the Peacekeepers. At the time, I didn't understand why it was sent to the Peacekeepers. But it must have been to corner Shachi by steering the Peacekeepers toward the hideout. The culprit then ambushed him when he arrived on the roof.
Which means the culprit anticipated the target fleeing up there.
Perhaps it was a planned escape route the Resistance had decided on beforehand. If they fled using the emergency stairs, it would be easy to shake off pursuers. As a matter of fact, the Peacekeepers were held up there. If he hadn't been killed, he would have escaped.
So all of it was calculated. Whoever it is, they are truly frightening. And that culprit is among them?
If we organize all the clues we've got so far, we can narrow down who the culprit is.
But how long will they keep running? At this rate, there's no end in sight.
Master, over there!
A giant water tank?
In here, you always find the culprit if you keep solving mysteries. So the only way to catch up to them is to solve mysteries.
Huh?
Come on! I'm counting on you, Master!
Got it! In order to commit this crime, the most important requirement is to be an excellent swimmer. Jumping from that height into a storm drain would also require training and experience. Maybe they had high diving experience through swimming competitions.
We finally caught up!
The truth is crystal clear. The one who murdered Shachi...
I wouldn't kill anyone!
I didn't kill anyone!
I haven't done anything.
There's no way I could kill Shachi.
I haven't.
I didn't kill anyone!
It's you, Icardi! You took advantage of your swimming skills to murder Shachi!
Huh? What? No! That's insane! I'm not the culprit! That's bullshit!
Real convincing with the outfit there.
I didn't kill Shachi! I'm not the culprit!
Such a foreboding presence. Is this the true identity of the final monster protecting the hidden treasure?
But most of the mystery has already been solved. This is just its last stand. Master, let's solve this thing once and for all!
Right!
Can't believe they made this one this easy. I mean, I guess maybe if you're not paying enough attention to the voices, you're not going to make that connection, but... like... I don't know.
I'm not the culprit! Where's your evidence? There are other Resistance members! I know! Margala is the culprit! Margala shot Shachi on the roof!
This is the truth! Margala has an alibi! It's impossible for him to have done it!
If it's not Margala, then Iruka is the culprit!
Oops.
Iruka knows a lot about handling guns! She killed Shachi!
Oops, that's wrong person.
Say,
But...
If it's not Margala, then Iruka is the
definitely-
culprit!
I'm sorry.
Iruka knows a lot about handling guns. She... He killed Shachi! And made it look like suicide!
I'll slash through this mystery! Iruka designed the handgun, so she knew Shachi was left-handed. She never would have made that mistake faking his suicide.
You don't know Iruka. Well, you don't know that. You know? It could have been a quick moment thing, and, you know, she had to go real quick, so she shot him, put it in the hand that was closest, and dipped.
It's not Margala. It's not Iruka. But you still can't say I'm the culprit. The culprit is Servat! He killed Shachi on the roof. And messed with the corpse.
I was like, I can't. Pressing the wrong button.
Then escaped through the drain!
This is the truth! Shervan was traumatized after once nearly drowning, so there's no way he would have dove into a drain.
Yuma, you did it! You defeated the monster! Huh? But what about the treasure?
That's strange. We found the culprit and also cut down his excuses. But the truth still hasn't appeared? Where is the real culprit's soul?
Also, the countdown hasn't stopped yet. It went down by a lot again.
Perhaps there is a secret final boss in this labyrinth? Wait, I know. It's...
Stop. If anything, I'm the secret protagonist.
Moving on. This means we haven't revealed the truth of this mystery labyrinth. Maybe it's because we don't have a solid overall picture of the case.
the overall picture?
There's no mistake that Ikari made Shachi's murder look like a suicide. But we don't know why he did it. If he wanted to kill him, there are simpler ways to do it. Why bring the Peacekeepers into this?
So we need to find the motive. As long as that's an unknown, we won't reach the truth.
Hmm? The water is flowing somewhere.
Oh, so it is. I wonder where it is heading.
The water flows somewhere. If the Mystery Labyrinth is a reflection of reality, the flow of water may have some significance.
Then let's see where it leads us. This could be the path to the hidden treasure.
You know, this case seems to involve water an awful lot. The slums where the crime took place are flooded, like the entire commercial area.
Right. Given that, the truth should be wherever the water leads. A dead end? And this countdown timer... looks like it's linked to that countdown, and it's dropping by a lot.
Hey, Master? Maybe this isn't a dead end. Maybe it's a giant bomb.
Huh? What?
Oh my! What a big, breathtaking bomb! I cannot help but be impressed.
You shouldn't be!
I'm sure this is the heart of this mystery labyrinth. So there's only one thing left to do. Master, you just gotta defuse this bomb too, like how you did in the real world.
This giant bomb?
If you can solve the mystery, the bomb will stop ticking. So really, it's no different from what you've been doing.
Good luck, Yuma! I am confident that you can do it! For you are the elite bomb diffuser, he who tames the god of darkness, holy great detective warrior of light, Yuma!
You'll be fine, Master! You've got the best mentor there is!
Okay, I'll try.
Can I save? I can save. I'm gonna save and mark while the cosmological clock is ticking. Mark. Whatever hand is your dominant doesn't matter when designing a handgun. This is true, except the gun in question is a revolver, and so the line of thought here is it's more comfortable to reload a revolver if it is swinging into or to the right rather than to the left, which would potentially classify it as a, left-handed revolver.